How are you? This is Oliver Fernandez with The Imperfect Entrepreneur. And today we're going to look at business from an occupancy and a vacancy perspective. So my daughter Lily is really getting good at walking now. And I feel like in the past week, she has strung together so many new understandings and is starting to understand and be able to navigate her own world, right? And her world is like our house for right now. But she's really, getting an opportunity to go hide in the corner and play with her toys and then come out of that corner and come track us down in the kitchen or in the living room. And she's doing it on her own. So it's cool to kind of be a part of it. So I was listening to one of my coaches talk about a new business that they had partnered with. And that business was a car repair shop, right? And as he was talking about the business, he'd never been in automotive or repairs or any of that stuff, right? But he was brought it back to a principle that he had learned, right? And that principle was occupancy and vacancy. So basically, when I heard that, like it brought me back to like apartments, right? Like you have 100 apartments, right? And you have occupancy of 100%. That means like all of your apartments are full, right? But if you have an occupancy of 50%, then that means, you have 50% or 50 units that are full and 50 units that are vacant, right? So your occupancy is at 50%, your vacancy is at 50%. Well, the way he was using that in the auto repair space was that he was looking at how many bays that that automobile repair shop had to make repairs at. How many bays was there, right? So if there was 10 bays and all 10 of them were used, then occupancy was at 100%, right? But if there was 10 there and only 5 of them were used, then occupancy was only at 50% and vacancy was at 50%, right? So like when I heard that, I was like, wow, that's really interesting. But like, how can you use that with construction, right? Like that doesn't really pertain to construction. And there you go again, like instead of, trying to find out how it doesn't work, you need to find out how this stuff can work for you and your business. So as I started to think about how it could work for my business, I started to think like, okay, so like occupancy and vacancy, like how is that relatable to me? Because like, I don't technically, have equipment that, I'm going to be using on a day-to-day basis, right? Like for me, it's more of like my manpower, right? Like when my guys are working, that's when my jobs are moving forward, right? Yeah, we have trucks, we have equipment, but like, that's not the key indicator for the progress of my projects, right? So as I was relating it to my business, we like in the beginning, especially for the new flooring company that we bought, like we were looking at the sales numbers, right? And the sales numbers were growing month after month. And we were like, oh, business is great. Things are moving forward. And it wasn't until we started to really put one and two together that, okay, great. Yeah. Sales numbers are going great, but like the work that's being installed isn't going as great as the sales number, right? So like we were selling like $1 million a month, but our install was only like at $600,000 a month. So like I started to think about the install and I'm like, oh, that's our occupancy and vacancy, right? Like the amount of installers that we have, if we have 10 installers and all 10 of those installers are working 100% of the time, then our vacancy our occupancy is going to be at 100%, right? And our vacancy is going to be at 0%. But if we have 10 installers and only 5 of them are working for us at the time, then we have an occupancy of 50% and a vacancy of 50%. And the better we can make that occupancy, the better our business will do, right? And to be 100% honest with you, like, with the flooring business, that was one of the benefits of the flooring business was that like, yeah, we had our team and our staff that could go out and install flooring, but then we could also have like use subcontractors to partner with to go and install flooring as well. And the benefit of that is you now only have a commitment to that person for that one job. And it's not a commitment. It's not a full employment. So like if you don't have work for them, then they're finding work in other areas. But if you do have work for them, then you contract with them and you get the work at price X, and then they can do the work at price Y. And then you, as the business owner and as the business, right, keep the spread between the two, right? So it's good and it can help you grow, but at the same time, it can kind of muddy up that occupancy because they're not committed to just you, right? They're committed to their own schedule, and they may have some other stores that they're working for and have commitments with them. So that occupancy number was something that we had to dig deeper into, right? So when we started looking at that $600,000 per month, right, we're like, all right, so if we really want to grow and we want to take this business that has historically done about $5 to $6 million a year and get it to 10 million, then we're going to have to increase our production from $500,000 to $600,000 a month to about $1 million a month. So that's going to be 100% increase in production. So that means basically we're going to really have to streamline this occupancy and vacancy standpoint. So I started to work through that with my partners. And honestly, we hadn't even really we didn't even really have a list of all of our installers in a format where we could be like, all right, well, this person's free and this person isn't, right? Like what we would do is we would, get a job and sell the job. And then we would then scramble to like get someone to do the install for us, right? If we didn't have people in house to do that install. So think about that. You get a job, customer Mary calls you on Monday. On Tuesday, customer Mary says they want to move forward with the work. You say, okay, great. And then Wednesday, you're now calling the installer to see if they're available to do the work. Instead of just having like committed days or even if it's not committed days, like there's some sort of, not a guarantee, but some sort of, like, hey, an understanding that we need you for these days so that we can build out our business. And at the same time, as we build out our business, you're going to be more successful because now you're going to have less downtime, right? And we can plan around it instead of it just being like helter skelter. So that was like a good thing to start to realize and understand in the business and how, and start to look at how we can make that better from like a strategic and leadership standpoint, right? So what we did is we've hired an operations person that's going to like handle the ordering and the scheduling of our subcontractors. So now that person, right, has a list of all of our subcontractors. And that's not just a finite list. We're going to be looking to grow that list, right? Especially as we're looking to go from $600,000 a month in that business to $1 million a month. Like we're going to need more people and we're going to need to be strategic about those people. And the only way we're really going to be able to be strategic about who we need to add and why we need to add them is by monitoring this list, right? So we have this list of all of our installers. And then we have the days, right? Like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And then there's occasional some Saturdays that we work, right? So that list is now going to be like our occupancy and vacancy checker, right? So like we're now going to start talking with our installers to get like on an understanding like, hey, we're going to need you for like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday here. And then obviously the people that work for my team, right? And our team, PQF, right? We already know they're committed for the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, but it's the installers that are subcontractors that we need to make sure we get some sort of an understanding between our schedules so that we know when they're available and they know that we're going to schedule time for them when they are available, right? So as we continue to clarify that process, that's going to be our occupancy and vacancy checker. Like if we have, 20 installers and and that's including some of the PQF staff and then subcontractors, right? If we have 20 of them and all 20 of them are working, we know we're going to hit those numbers, right? Like those numbers of $1 million a month if everybody's at 100% occupancy. But if things start to fall back and, we're only at, we have 20 installers and we only have 10 of them working and 10 of them are working, we're at 50% occupancy, and we know we're not going to hit that 600,000, that $1 million number. We're going to be closer to the 600,000, right? So that occupancy and vacancy tracker is going to help us see the opportunity in our business, right? And be able to capture that opportunity by understanding the production, by getting more efficient, and by, keeping the opportunity. Because sometimes, like when there's so many things going on, it like everything gets murky, right? But if we can see it right in front of us, we can go in and achieve it. The same way we've been able to push sales and get the sales numbers up, we now need to get the production up, right? We need that production to match the sales numbers. And the closer that does match, the more growth and profitability the business will be, right? So when you're looking at your occupancy and your vacancy, we're looking at how efficient we can make our operations. And the more efficient the operations are, the more you will be able to grow and profit. With love, keep putting one foot in front of the next.
Thank you for listening to The Imperfect Entrepreneur. Please remember to subscribe and leave feedback.
Hey there, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please click subscribe down below and give me a thumbs up. You can reach out to me on Instagram or Facebook at Oliver Fernandez 3. I have new videos just like this one dropping every week. So drop a comment down below and let me know what you want to hear next. Until then, keep growing and keep learning. Just do it.